What's up, guys? Thanks for stopping by today. Today I'm gonna be sharing with you my sound system install in my '05 Jeep Grand Cherokee. So let's get right into it. First, we're gonna go over what speakers I'm using for this setup. In the front, we've got a 3-way component system running infinity reference, 3/4-inch dome tweeters mounted into the A-pillars, 3.5 infinity reference 2-way speakers mounted into the factory dash locations, 6x9 infinity reference component woofers mounted into the factory door locations, 6.5 infinity reference two-way speakers mounted into the rear door, and 2 Rockford Fosgate 12s mounted in a generic Amazon ported box in the trunk. All of these are running off of 2 amps that we've got mounted under a Foss panel. The first thing you need for any amp is power, ground, and a remote turn-on wire. So let's get right to that. Routing the power wire. First, you're gonna wanna find a grommet in the engine bay that leads through the firewall. I found a nice empty one. Thought about using that one, but there's wires going through and I don't wanna compromise them or drill through them or anything. You're gonna wanna poke a hole in it. I didn't have a big enough drill bit, so I had to use a knife and just cut that hole and make it bigger. But if you've got bigger drill bits, that shouldn't be an issue. And you can see in there, but the opening is right there. And my wire is right there. So I've got the wire all pulled through, and you'll see I removed a bunch of body panels so I could route it right where I wanted it. That was inside that B-pillar, through the back seat, through the inside of the C-pillar, and they both come out here. This one is drilled through the wall, and the carpet is gonna sit right here, so you'll never see that hole. This one is gonna also run underneath the carpet, but not through the C-pillar. And they're both gonna come in right here. I drilled 2 holes through the inside of this, I don't know what you would call this little recess. This is actually how you get to the spare tire. But I drilled 2 holes in it, and then I pulled this back out. I'm gonna have to drill another hole right here, a bigger one. And I've already started making a hole right here and pulling this panel off, because I need to put that side back together and take this side apart. Pull that off, run it up, because I need to run my RCA, 3 RCAs to be exact, 3 pairs, and a remote turn-on wire all the way up there to the front amp. RCA cables are all run. They're poking out right up here by the radio. Right now I'm wiring in the door speakers, which I don't have the speakers yet, so I'm gonna be putting the stock speakers back in, but I will have the wire in here already, ready to go. And I just wired that through the door jamb grommet. All right, well, you guys missed a lot of stuff. My camera's been messing up for like the last 3 hours, so I haven't been able to record anything. So I'll just go through and talk about everything I did. Had to remake this harness with a longer cable because one of the cables was too short. I got everything routed, including all 4 speaker wires. 2 branch off that way, 2 branch off this way. This side is completely put back together. So the back doors, it goes through the plug that the original speaker wires go through. This plug up here on the front, I could not get out for some reason, so I ended up running this one up the kick panel and then through here. I don't like doing stuff through the door jamb, but the only thing that should contact it is this rubber, so that's all good. I got my RCA cables ran all the way up here near the radio. That's all the radio cables. Right now I'm getting ready to put the subs in the box, but I'm also in the middle of heating up the soldering iron because I don't have my Dremel and I have to make recesses for these cables to fit in, and I gotta do the same thing on here so that this will fit flush. And then later on, I'll take my Dremel and I'm gonna clean these out so they look all nice. And as far as the amp wiring goes, I've got the powers and grounds hooked up. I haven't connected this power yet. So it's about 2 hours later. I got my sub wires ran. I got all this stuff under here connected up. Powers ran, the grounds ran. The wires are a mess right now, but I'm gonna clean it up another day. It's starting to get dark, so I'm just trying to get everything, you know, finished up for the day. Probably gonna be rerouting these in the future because these 2 wires are kind of keeping it from going down all the way. Everything for this amp is done. I'm just cleaning up the wires and getting everything the way I want it to look. And then all these wires are ran. I'm mounting them down so that they don't move. We route these wires for these dash speakers, and we're also gonna end up routing the wires for the tweeters in the same way. Here, we'll go outside the door panel because that'll all be closed in. And then I can run it right through here into where these speakers come. So it's time to make the holes where the tweeters are gonna mount in here. This is the driver's side's pillar. And I'm thinking I'm gonna try to mount the tweeter about right there. There's plenty of room on the other side. I'll put it right there and I can tilt it towards the driver's seat or towards the passenger seat and get a good sound stage or whatever. So boys, I'm gonna just take this Dremel, take it around the inside and make the hole big enough until this fits through. Because right now, it just barely doesn't fit. These are my crossovers. That's gonna split my front channel into mids and tweeters. I'm not using the woofers, I'm only using it for mids and tweeters. The woofers are gonna be on the amp on a separate channel, and I can just band pass that or low pass it, excuse me. So this is all wired and I decided to attach it, and now I'm gonna just go put this in the car and run these wires. I don't know what this bolt came from. I'm not gonna worry about that. I want to mount the crossover about right there. All right, guys, so I'm gonna show you guys the finished product. First, I had to finish up a couple more things. I got the fuse in here mounted because you need a fuse going to your amp wires. I also want to say before I show you the finished product that if you're gonna be installing a sound system into an 05 Grand Cherokee, your stock 160 amp alternator is not going to put out enough voltage for you to run a full system. From the time I got the subs wired in, I noticed my headlights dimming and flickering, and as soon as I got the second amp in and mounted, the car dies. Now I can't start it without a jump every time I get in. So we're going to be doing a follow-up charging system upgrade video soon, where we're gonna run all new power wires and ground wires from the battery, upgrade the alternator, and put in a new interstate battery. So look out for that coming up in a week or two. So we got the sub box all in the back, and what I wanted to show you guys here on the sub box is these quick disconnect connectors that I put on there. So if I need to pull the sub box out, boom, boom, and I can pull this whole box out nice and easy. Plug those back in. Boom. I also extended the wires to where they're long enough to where, let's say I needed to get to the amps back here without pulling the whole system out. I put that front seat down and I lengthened the wires enough to where it'll slide forward. So now, instead of having to pull the box out to get to this, I just need to slide that and move my tools. Boom, I can get right down to the amps. What I'm gonna do next is just let you guys hear it a little bit. So it's still untuned right now. Well, it's got a bass tune, but it's not fully tuned. So it doesn't sound horrible, but it's got room to go up from here. let's address some of the issues that we have with the system at this point. The first biggest issue is that rattling that's coming from the trunk whenever the subs play. And I believe that is the sub box that I chose. I mentioned that I got a cheap generic Amazon sub box and I don't think it's thick enough. When the bass hit, I believe that's the box rattling. I used these subs in my Mustang with a sealed box, a custom made box, and I didn't get that noise. So definitely gonna be getting a custom box in the future, or at least something better made to replace that. The second area where the system's got room to grow is the power, the amp. So I'm using a 4-channel amp that's powering the 2 front door speakers, the 3.5 dash speakers, and the tweeters. The rear doors are on factory amplifier power. A 6-channel amplifier will be perfect. And the last place where I believe that it could actually improve in sound quality would be the sound deadening in the doors. I could do some Dynamat or something to make the door panels not vibrate as much, because if you stand outside the car when the music's turned up, you can hear the door panels themselves vibrating, and it's like a metal on metal vibrating sound. Besides those 3 things, everything else in the system is running really well. And I think it sounds pretty good, except for the rattling when the bass hits. But either way, thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Drop a like if you liked, comment or subscribe. There'll be more on the channel. Thanks for watching, guys.